Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live hosted by me, Mr. Philly. I just wanted to continue this conversation, because I had a lot of trolls in the last one. I think this is a really fun conversation. So, I just really wanted to continue with you guys. I thought there was a lot of glitches in the last app. So, in the last live. So, that's why I continuously wanted to do it too. So, yeah, it was actually reconnecting or whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I'm trying to get my fan to work. Why is it doing this? Oh, there we go. Love, how are you? Oh, never mind. I guess I can't work. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you today? Young Frankenstein. Okay, I've heard of that. I'm not my favorite movie, but I've heard of that. I didn't really like the movie, but it's okay. A Streetcar Named Desire. Oh man, now you're making me want to watch that. I remember that movie. Oh man, I watched that on TV Classic Movies. I love it. Oh my goodness. I want to download that app just because, TCM, TV Classic Movies. I love the Essentials. I love Robert Osborne. I fell in love with that channel. I really, I don't think they actually stream, I don't know if they probably do. Well, I shouldn't say that. They probably stream it somewhere, but yeah. Um, Not exactly sure where, but like, I'd love to find a streaming channel of that. So anyway. Oh dear. Hello from India. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you very much. All right, give me a moment, guys. I'll be right with you. Oh, Streetcar Named Desire. That was a good pick. I'd love good start with the conversation. No, thank you. But no, I remember watching a Streetcar Named Desire. When I worked as a CNA, they had cable, and a lot of residents would watch cable, and that's when I actually fell in love with TCM TV Classic Movie Channel because there was a lot of great movies I played on there. So yeah. And I remember Streetcar Named Desire was on there too, so it was really cool. So that's pretty, yeah, that is pretty cool. Interesting though. Oh wow, that's so cool. Oh, and the play actually is better from my understanding. The play is slightly better. Well, in some sense, actually, no. Well, in some sense of morality, the movie's better because I remember in the end of the movie, spoilers ahead. Marlon Brando's character, he's pretty much a jerk. He's a jerk character. He's just a loudmouth, and he drinks, and he plays pool, plays poker, and he treats his sister-in-law like crap. And we'll see. Yeah, and you see that throughout the film, and then throughout the film, and because she's so mentally ill, and then eventually he takes advantage of that actually, and he essays her actually, and then, but and the interesting part of the story is that, like, in the play, like, at the end of the movie, when his sister, yes, very, very much so. But then, and his sister goes away, she's like, "I don't know who you are, but I always relied on the kindness of strangers." And she actually he calls her really loudly, and she goes back to him in the play. But in the movie, she doesn't. She said, "I'm done with him," basically. So she finally realizes that he's just an asshole, basically. And I think Marlon Brando played that character really, really well. And but I'm not gonna lie, I think it was the reason why the movie was so interesting is that, like, each person had demons, and she came there, and the sister, she had her problems. She had an inappropriate relationship with the student, which is really dark for a 1950s movie. This movie came out in 1955 too. So, but, like, she wanted her to have a better life, and basically Marlon Brando's character stopped her from doing that, basically. But I can understand that point, but, like, he had his issues too, basically. I feel like I don't know how it would have reacted to that, but, like, I mean, he told this one guy, Carl Malden, who was actually interested in her about that crap. So that was terrible. I don't know. I mean, there was just a lot of drama. There was just a lot of weight and drama in that. But it is interesting. Charlie Chaplin. Oh wow. Well, I don't know if he ever made movies. Did he make movies? I know. I mean, did he make movies? Poor Blanche, Oppenheimer. That's not a black and white movie. Come on. Oh dear. Alexander, it's you again. There we go. That's not a black and white movie, but I have not seen the movie. Poor Blanche. Exactly. Yeah, poor Blanche. Yeah, exactly. Feel bad for her. Yeah, absolutely. She had a lot of problems, and I think it did get worse. So, I mean, I felt, you feel an understanding though of Stanley's character. Why he told what he told. But at the same time, he had his issues too. But I guess at the end of the day, when he told Carl Malden's character about her past, he really wasn't doing it for her benefit. He was doing it for his own benefit. He was just doing it because he was an asshole. So at the end of the day, yeah, he was. He typically was a jerk. So yeah, that's interesting. Is it really? I didn't know that. I have not seen it, so I have to look that up. I mean, I heard it was a good movie. Almost won Best Picture. It was Best Picture worthy. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely need to check it out, though. The person who made the nuclear bomb, that's what the movie was, so interesting. But yeah. Charlie Chaplin, though, I don't know what his movies were. I thought he did a show. I keep thinking he did a show, but I'm not really sure. But anyway. Anyway. Oh, I appreciate the conversation right off the bat. We're having a good conversation. I think this is a really good start. No, Streetcar Named Desire was good. It was very liberal, very dark, but also I think there was elements that about this movie that I did like. I didn't like all of it, but I did like elements of it. I think it portrayed somebody who was going through a problem and had an issue, and they were trying to restart their life, and somebody else screwed it up actually. So yeah, I think there was reality based in that sense. I think things like that do happen. So I think that's what it was. Basically, that's what made it so interesting. And then Marlon Brando, he won an Academy Award for that, and he was a dark character, but I mean, I think he did a really good job too, for sure. As an actor in that, and that's probably what made him rise to stardom. But yeah, very interesting in that aspect. Very liberal, very dark though. A little dark aspects, dark setting, dark themes, basically that kind of a thing. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Streetcar was way ahead of its time, and I think that's why it was so creative, and that's why it got the attention that it got. So yeah, and that's why it got the recognition that it got. But yeah, Spider Noir. I know that's a series. I don't know what it's about, but is a Nicolas Cage in that? From my understanding, that's all I know about it. I don't know much about it, but I don't know. Is it a good detective noir? I don't know. If it's good, maybe I'll definitely check it out. We'll see. But I mean, like, Yaki, so there's the classics, and then there's the modern, black and white movies. Like Schindler's List was one of them, and then Oppenheimer would probably be one of those too. But yeah, very interesting though. But yeah, the classics that I'm talking about is like Miracle on 34th Street. But if it's black and white, that's totally fine too. Even if it's modern. Well, yeah, even if it's modern, that's fine too. And there was silent film. I had a friend of a friend who actually said that was a good watch too. Also, oh, excuse me, I have not watched it. Well, I mean, I'll have to look it up though. So I don't know anything about it, but yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. I did see that some of the one of the clips of the trailers, but yeah, I don't know nothing about it though. But I'll have to look it up. I'll have to see what it's about. But yeah. Oh. Emancipation, yes. I've heard of that. Yes, I don't know much about it, but I've heard of it. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Well, I appreciate the conversation so far. The last one there was a lot of trolls. So, we had a like 5 minute, only 5 minutes was devoted to the question. So I really appreciate you guys actually all the guys that are coming on, the people that are coming on right now, actually have an appreciation for the conversation that I'm trying to have about, you know, black and white movies. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. And thank you everybody for the recommendations. I'll definitely be willing to check them out. So yeah. So anybody else on? Oh no, thank you very much. Oh wow, very good. Well, I mean, like I don't do that on my channel, but I do love movies also. I have a very good appreciation for black and white movies, and I do like good movies too also. So, stop on my channel anytime you're welcome to. I appreciate it. If you want to like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I love talking about movies, and I love talking about film, and I love talking about directing and all the aspects of filming and all that fun stuff, and good what makes a movie a classic and what makes a movie a good movie. So yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, but I don't do it. I mean, I don't do that on my channel is not based off that, but I love talking about that kind of stuff. So thank you very much. I don't know if that's what you do on your channel. Oh, thank you very much. But so what I was going to talk about. Yeah, and that's what I loved about cable so much. And that was the only time in my life. When well, not the only time, but, the time in my life when I actually got into cable is that, like, when I worked as a CNA, a lot of residents watched, cable, and cable was more booming back in the night before 2020. And I worked as a CNA back in 2008, and the cable was still in its higher run. And TCM, and that's why, a lot of the elderly residents watch TCM. I would sit with them and I would watch, old movies with them. And that's why I had such an appreciation the way they talked about movies and classics, actually. And I grew up on black and white movies too, so yeah. White Chicks, that's not a black and white movie. I talked about this in the last live, actually. There's another movie that's kind of based off that. Is actually called Some Like It Hot, and then that's one of my favorite black and white movies. I talked about that in my last live, which is a earlier version of that movie. It's funny, and YouTube, which fun fact for you, YouTube in its entirety since 2006 has actually beat the ratings of cable. More people have watched YouTube than cable in its entire existence. And cable didn't really come to fruition until the 80s. It came back starting in the 70s. They had HBO, but it wasn't until the 80s until they actually had like a kind of a station. Multiple channels, that kind of a thing. So yeah, they're very interesting. Yeah, YouTube is the most watched platform in the world, and but right behind TikTok, and more people have watched YouTube since it came out above cable. So there you go. Very interesting. It's the most watched platform in the world. But I mean, when cable came out, and we didn't have cable growing up, but every time we went on vacation and we went to hotels, we were so it was like candy for us, us watching cable and everything. And this was back in the '90s when Unsolved Mysteries was around and all that fun stuff and all the great shows were on. All the great shows were on. You know. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to look that up. And I didn't know this too, and that was another thing that I should have mentioned, of Mice and Men. Apparently that is a remake. I saw the remake. I didn't see the black and white, but there is a black and white version of it. But usually it's always the black and the original one is always better, but I saw clips of the original one, but I think I like the one with Gary Sinise. I think he did a really good job. I think that I like that one better, honestly. It was pretty close. I mean, the way I look at it, if you make a remake of a black and white movie, and Scarface was another one too, actually. I saw the original one. That was good too. But the way I look at remakes, if you can make it as good or better than its predecessor, then that's what I like. If you can add something better to it, then that's what I like. But yeah, the original Scarface was good. The black and white one, that was good. I haven't seen that one. That was a good one too. And then Mice and Men, the original one, it's good. but I prefer the remake over that. But yeah, White Man Can't Jump. Well, we'll have to look that up actually. I think I've heard of that though, but that's pretty interesting. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, favorite director. Oh my goodness. Well, that's pretty interesting. That's another one. Oh well, I would have to say Mel Gibson is number one on there. He's one of my favorite actors, but he's also a great director. And then yes, for Scar. Yeah, there you go. I would also say, oh man, my favorite director. Well, okay, I guess I have top three. There's Martin Scorsese because I love crime films. He does the best gangster flicks, And there's also you also have Mel Gibson. He did a lot of great films. Also, I don't think I've seen a Mel Gibson movie that I did not like. And there's two of them. There's two so far. Martin Scorsese, Mel Gibson, very good, very good. He's the boss of crime shows, and then you have Mel Gibson. He does really well with whatever he's done, whatever he's dealt with. And then you have oh well, I'll have to think about it, but we'll see. Oh, great. Oh, absolutely great director. Phenomenal director, yes. And oh yeah, Braveheart, yeah. Can't go wrong with Braveheart. Yeah, that's just a guy movie. And yeah, and it's just and it's kind of considered a classic right now. At this point, it came out back in 1995, and I don't know. It looked like a modern movie, honestly, when I watched it. I remember watching it, and still, when I watch it to this day, I feel like I'm watching more of a modern movie, but it's still a classic. But at the same time, I'm watching a classic. So yeah. Well, I can't read all your name. I am IHM. Well, I appreciate you coming on though, and I appreciate you having a discussion about movies and everything with me. And finally, the last live, there was like three people that talked about it that answered the question, got into conversation, but everybody else was trolls. So thank you very much for joining and enjoying this conversation with me. I appreciate it. Streetcar Named Desire. Now you're making me want to watch that. It's such a classic movie. And I watch TikTok obviously, and sometimes, and I don't like TikTok as much as YouTube. I had TikTok for a little bit, but I did not like my experience on there. But when you see shorts, they say times when life hits different. But I feel like when you watch a classic movie, that's one another time when life hits different. And I remember when I watched A Streetcar Named Desire, that was when life hit differently. Life hits differently when you watch classic movies too, and black and white movies for sure. So I don't know if you agree or not, but yeah, that's how I feel about that. Sometimes life just hits differently. Oh yeah, Spike Lee, Tarantino. There we go, Anderson. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh man, but I don't like Quentin Tarantino that much. I mean, he's a little dark for me, a little too dark. I mean, he did a good job with Reservoir Dogs, and he did a good job with The Hateful Eight. There's like two or three movies of his that I did like, but I don't know. He's just very dark. Just he takes a lot of liberties with language, and he takes a lot of liberties with a lot of things, and little different for me. But I think longer scenes. He takes a lot of liberties with longer scenes, but like There's a couple of movies that I did like, you know. He's talented in his own way, I'm sure, like just everybody else. But yeah, he just a little dark, a little too takes too much a little bit liberties with his movies. You know, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. So yeah. But no, he's all right. No, I mean he's a talented person, absolutely. And Martin Scorsese, like you said, and then Gibson, and then also, yeah, I mean, like I can't remember the last. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, oh my, Kill Bill. I have not seen Kill Bill though. I don't know. Is it good? Is it worth a watch? I don't know. I mean, like it's about a female assassin, assuming, from my understanding, but I don't know the point of it. That's all I know about it. I've never seen Kill Bill. I've seen, a lot of his movies. I have actually seen, The Hateful Eight. That was a great one, and I did see Reservoir Dogs. That was another great one, and then I also did see what was the other one? Oh, the other popular one that he made. Oh gosh, can't remember. Um, oh my goodness, Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction's a good movie too, but I did not see Kill Bill though. But I know that's one of his gold mines, so I don't know. But is it worth? Let me know if it's worth a watch. Let me know. I'm definitely gonna look it up though. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. That's what I meant. Pulp Fiction was a great watch too. Kill Bill Volume 1, Volume 2. So it's about an assassin who's a woman. She's trying to she's gonna go assassinate her ex-husband, I assuming. I'm not sure, or just somebody she knows. Oh, okay, thank you. Well, thank you very much. I'll definitely look into it though. If you say it's worth a watch, then I'll look into it because I have not seen it, but I know it's one of his more popular ones. So yeah. Oh, excuse me. Getting tired already. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by. Oh, put my cord in there. I wish I had you in my last live, when I had this conversation or whatever, but that's all good. Oh, don't okay, okay, okay. So okay, I guess I'm right then. I've seen clips and I know a little bit about the movie, from YouTube trailers and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, if it, I mean, like, well, I mean, like, well, explain to me what's good about it. Is it the dialogue? Is it the action and just the storyline that makes it good? Just, I mean, if you can explain that in a few words, let me know. That's what I mean to say. But what makes it good though? Is it the dialogue, the acting, and the storyline then? And yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, if it's that kind of thing that draws you in, I appreciate that, and that's what I appreciate about movies too in general. So yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything about what we're talking about? I'd love to hear about it. Love to hear you guys' input about your favorite black and white movie or anything like that. Be really cool. This is a great conversation. This is a good conversation. So yeah. I watched the first 5 minutes of it, but I don't know. I watched other YouTubers actually follow it. I know it got positive reviews, and that's what I usually base my, watch off of, but like some YouTubers say that wasn't that great. Was it good? I'll probably finish it. I'm actually in the middle of watching Evil Dead Burn because I love the Evil Dead franchise. So yeah, that's actually really good. Definitely worth a watch. It's really good. I love Sam Raimi's Evil Dead franchise, and I love what they did with it in the new modern pop version of it. So I think it's even better, and I hope they do even more with it. So yeah, but I did not watch Backrooms yet. But I mean, like, if you think it's good, if you think it's all right, then let me know, and I'll definitely give it a watch. I know it was based off of like an internet meme or something like that, or an internet creepypasta. But yeah, I mean, if it's interesting and if it's good, if it's got good scares, jump scares and all that fun stuff, like I like a classic ghost story when it comes to horror. I love a classic ghost story, but I do like jump scares. I like a good script. I like, jump scares. I like scariness. I mean, like gore and all that, the modern horror, I don't, it's not my favorite thing, but if you can make it work, then that's what I like. So I want to see a horror movie that can make something work, you know. But more preferably, what I like in a horror movie, I like classic ghost stories, and I like a horror movie. And I like zombies. That's normally what I go for. Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, I have no idea. Sorry, I wasn't answering. I was answering this other guy, Sean. So, but I'm really, really looking forward to Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man coming out. I think that's gonna be bomb. That's gonna be a banger. I'm looking so forward to that. Um, I thought that movie already came out. I'm not sure. No, well, I don't know about that. I'm not familiar with that one, but I am definitely gonna go watch, the new Spider-Man movie. I'm not a big Marvel fan, but Spider-Man and Wolverine can't go wrong with there. But that comes out on my birthday, July 29th, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. So yeah, the new Spider-Man movie. I think that's gonna be really golden. So yeah, definitely gonna go worth a watch. You got Hulk, you got Scorpion, and you got Frank Castle in that. That looks really amazing. So yeah. Hmm. Oh wow, awesome. Well, happy birthday. Wow. I'm gonna be 37 here in about 3 weeks. I'm getting old. I'm pushing 40. I'm on the downhill slope to 40. So yeah, we'll see. I survived 37 years. I hope I survive for another 37 years or whenever God wants me, but we'll see. Well, it's really nice to meet you. I'm an old man though. I wish I was 18 again. I have way more energy than I do now. You know what I mean? So yeah. Even when I was in my 20s, it wasn't until 30 that stuff creeps up on you. enjoy your being 18, enjoy being that young, because when you turn 30, it creeps up on you. You get old, I'll tell you. No, you should enjoy it. Enjoy it as much as you can. But do the best you can, don't screw your body up. Don't stay up all night, sleep and enjoy your life, actually, unless you absolutely have to. You're gonna thank yourself when you're 30. I promise you. Don't abuse your body. I did that mistake all through my 20s, you know? So, yeah. And I'm suffering for it now. But at the end of the day, when you reach 30, you need a little bit more sleep. And, when you get hurt, you're going to need a little bit more time to heal. So that's how I feel like being 30 is. Welcome to 30. Well, this was a really fun live. I really appreciate you specifically coming and hang out, having a good conversation about movies and everything. So yeah. That's really interesting. I'm looking into these apps and I'm looking into other YouTubers. I don't know if you've seen Obsession, great watch, by the way. I see a lot of YouTubers who actually direct their own movies on, YouTube, and they make their own movies, and that's how they get famous. But I would love to make a great movie. I mean, I would love to make a movie on YouTube. I mean, I've talked about this before. At some point, I would really like to make a film actually on YouTube and see where that goes. Based on me or just based on something that I do. You know what I mean? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was a great watch, wasn't it? Very good movie. Yeah, Corey Baker, he did a good job, and he's already pretty big. But yeah, I think there are already a lot of these YouTubers, and the person who made Talk to Me that was a YouTuber too, but they were already pretty big when they made their movies. But yeah, I think now they're actually handed the director's chair. Yeah, but yeah, that is something that I would really like to do actually at some point in my YouTube career, make a movie or a film actually. So yeah. I think that'd be really, really cool. Hello from Germany. How are ya? Septomate. How are ya? All right, guys. Well, I'm probably gonna hit the hay. I'm getting tired. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go finish my movie too. I'm gonna go finish Evil Dead Burn. Great watch, by the way. Check it out. But thanks everybody for coming on, and thanks everybody for the good conversation. I really, really appreciate it about black and white movies and all that fun stuff. So, all right, guys. Well, I will definitely see you tomorrow. We got a great recipe coming up tomorrow, and as always, happy cooking, everybody. All right, bye.